Hey, what's going on, guys? Hex Competitive back in today with a brand new video, and we're going to be talking about domestic girlfriend. I didn't want to make the just regular video because I didn't want to chop up the clips. I just kind of wanted to do a podcast on it, because I don't know how long this is going to be, and why, I just want to do it this way. Sometimes I just want to talk about certain things on the channel this way. So if you guys are new to the channel, you're here because of the title and or the tags I put in place, who knows. This is about domestic girlfriend. This is just a Hexcast. If you want to see other kind of videos, be sure to check out my channel. Just click on that little profile pic below this video. So looking at domestic girlfriend, I was in my Discord talking to quite a few people actually about this and just discussing and debating certain different things. So this podcast is going to primarily just basically be based on each individual character, where they, each individual character's relationship with Natsuo, our main character here. So looking at this right off the rip, I just wanted to start with, I guess, Hina. We'll just go in chronological order, I guess. So Hina is a character that Natsuo always loved. And, Hina is a character that also became quite fond of Natsuo. She said that she liked him since they talked on the roof. And I think that was chapter 1, right? I believe that was chapter 1, chapter 2. And, I saw one thing stating that it was more of a sexual relationship. And this is something that I've actually maybe talked about in my Discord a couple times, I'm not really sure. So looking at the relationship, guys, it was actually really essentially the exact opposite of that. I mean, you could argue and say Rui and Natsuo's relationship was more of that, but we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second. So looking at Hina and Natsuo's relationship, I just want to come out and say that these two characters loved each other dearly, and it was a relationship that was torn apart. You got to remember that Hina and Natsuo's relationship was torn apart. It wasn't because of they just broke it off because they weren't happy. They didn't just break it off because I'm tired of having intercourse and or whatnot with you. No, that's not how it worked. That's not how it went. That's not how it went at all. They were forced apart. They had a relationship that was beginning to grow like a flower, but it never bloomed. That's essentially what happened with their relationship. And there's absolutely no denying that. There's no logical reason why you could even say it was a sexual relationship, I would say. Because that doesn't make sense. The argument doesn't make sense at all. I mean, on what are you basing that off of? You know what I mean? Because if you look at Hina's relationship, you look at Ryui's, okay, they both had a sexual relationship with Natsuo. What's the difference? Except one was forced to break up with them. And maybe you could say she wasn't forced, right? She should have just quit teaching. But you got to put into perspective. The writer's making this really real as possible. This was her dream, right? Teaching was her dream at the time. That was her dream. Natsuo, his dream was to become a writer. Well, how was Natsuo supposed to be a writer when the paparazzi, all the propaganda out there, the advertisement of his books would have been, hey, this is Natsuo, the high school student that was with the teacher. She didn't want that. His books wouldn't have been as, the sales wouldn't have been credible per se. Kind of like with the whole thing about him getting stabbed and then his books were selling because of that said reason. Are his books truly credible? Or are they not credible? Are they buying it because, hey, this is that one kid that did this and or that. He was involved in that scandal. Let's see what he writes about. How credible is he as an author? And you see, that's one of Natsuo's struggles right now. He doesn't feel as if, his book was really credible. Yeah, was it buying? Sure. But it wasn't buying because it was that good per se. And maybe it was. Some people, we saw the rating in the manga and it was selling great. It was selling absolutely amazing, right? But Natsuo was still sad. He didn't like the fact why it was selling. So you got to think about that. That's the kind of where Hina is coming from. She didn't want his book or anything to be based off of a scandal, and so you had to break it off. Did she know he was actually going to become a successful light novel? No. But if he did, that would have been a huge thing, and you got to remember that. So other than that, though, so when you look at the relationship, it was forced apart. She had to leave. There's too much on the line, not necessarily just for her at the time, but for him as well. How was she supposed to function through high school? Think about that. Sexual relationship, my ass. That doesn't make sense. That's a silly argument. You know what I mean? And I don't even want necessarily Hina to win. I wouldn't care if she does. I really wouldn't care if she does. You know, she's like, I guess, my second favorite per se, you know. But I don't even know. I don't know how I feel about Hina right now either. So, you know, I'm more of a Serizawa person. But now let's hop on to Rui really quick here, because these are the two people are going to probably want to hear about the most, even though Serizawa's best girl, at least in my opinion. But, so other than that, though, let's hop on to Rui right now. So Rui is a character to where their relationship is based on, well, her being there for Natsuo. You know, that's kind of the problem with their relationship to begin with, though. Their relationship was based on feelings. Natsuo wasn't right. Rui was there. She did so much for him. I root for Rui. I wanted her to win. I switched from Hina to Rui, and I was like, yes. But then sometimes silly arguments start to happen. Silly things start to happen. And I said this on my Discord server. You know, I would love to eat the things and drink the things that are not good for me on a daily basis. I would love that. That's what would make me happiest. To always eat the thing that tastes the best. Oh, man. To always take the vacation that's to the best place but most expensive. But that's not good for me. I'm spending too much money. I'm going to end up broke. I'm going to end up with diabetes. I'm going to be, you know, extremely overweight if I eat those foods that I want to eat. Love is really essentially the same thing sometimes. You can love somebody, but you can still be bad for each other. And maybe I'm speaking off of something that's happened recently kind of to me in a way in the past few months. You know, there's a lot of things that can happen in life. And sometimes, you know, my older brother said to me, and it really has resonated with me ever since like 7 months ago, 6 months ago. Sometimes what you want in your life isn't what's best. It simply is not what's best for you. I mean, there's just crazy things. Life's crazy, man. You can love somebody. You can love something. You can love your car. You know, you can love your dog. But if your dog has to be put down, then you got to put him down. I know you love him, but you got to let him go. You know, that car, it's just having too many problems. You love it. You know, your deceased, maybe, you know, grandpa, whatever, handed it down to you. He gave it to you to inherit. But it's not, you love it and you cherish that. You know, it's so sentimental. It has so much sentimental value. But sometimes you got to let it go. And that's where Natsuo and Rui are. They simply love each other to death. But they bicker too much. They can't rely on each other. You know, it wasn't even a trust thing necessarily. I know some people are talking about trust in the Discord server as well. And as always, guys, my Discord server is down in the description below. Link if you guys want to join. I'll make a video on that later. But if you can't, they couldn't trust each other because of some things that happened, right? There was belief, but there's also still jealousy. There's also still, you know, just worry. There's fear. So you want to trust them, but you don't fully embody what trust is per se. And that's what happened, right? You don't fully embody the trust in which you believe in. You believe in them, but you don't trust them is the best way to put it. I believe they're not going to do that, but I don't fully trust them. I don't fully, you know, I don't know for a fact they won't do it. And that's kind of where Natsuo and Rui were. You know, other than that, though, they didn't talk to each other. I want to go back to that because I didn't expand upon that enough. Listen. They wanted to be able to talk to each other, but they felt like it'd be a burden. If we do look back with Hina and Natsuo, look at their relationship compared to Yui and his. There was never a jealousy issue. There was never a fear of you're going to cheat on me. There's never a fear that you cared about someone else, you know. There was never that. There's never a fear that you care about someone else nearly as much as me, you know. And if you do care about someone else, you care about me so much that you never hurt me in that way. Look at it. It's a fact, guys. I'm not here to argue. I don't even want to hear the debate because it's true. It's true. You got to take your bias out of it. You got to be level-headed. You got to think logically. You know, you got to think logically. You know, and that's why I'm making this podcast. This is why I want to talk. I mean, you know, primarily I'm talking to everyone that watches, right? But I'm really talking to a lot of people in the Discord server as well. You got to think logically. And, you know, looking, you know, also at Hina, Natsuo, you know, versus the Natsuo-Rui relationship, they could talk to each other. You know, I mean, there's a couple things that towards the end there where, you know, they didn't say much like, hey, I'm moving, hey, I'm leaving you. Hina didn't say that, but that was the most extreme thing that's happened in this manga. I mean, oh man, that's rough, man. But those two were able to they were definitely, on a relationship standpoint, those two were better than Rui and Natsuo. I would assume he loved Rui more because he's with her longer, but who knows? First love, you always got some kind of feelings for your first love. That's different, man. But at the same time, they were a great relationship. When did they ever argue once? Tell me whenever Hina and Natsuo argued. When? When did they argue? Tell me. Tell me right now. When did it happen? You know? So, moving on, though, to... I kind of want to do Serizawa now, but we'll do Momo really quick here. You know, because I'm making a point. You know, I hope you made this far in the video, because I'm making a point. The author's really realistic with what it's doing. Super realistic. And usually when people break up because one of them says we are not good for each other, even though we love each other, whenever you break up on good terms, you usually don't get back together at all. It's usually the times you break up on bad terms and you see the flaws and the error in your ways. It's weird. If you break up on good terms, it's because you understand you can't be together. Rui, Natsuo, they broke up on good terms, especially on Rui's end. Rui came to a conclusion, look, I love you, but at the same time, I kind of hate you. That's what Rui and Natsuo's relationship was. I love you, but I really don't like you as a boyfriend. And you know what? I don't like myself. Rui was saying, I don't really like you as a boyfriend because you can't be a proper one. But at the same time, I really don't like myself at all as a girlfriend because I cause you problems and I'm not what a girlfriend should be. I'm not, you know, I want to be there for you, but obviously I have some issues to where I can't be there for you all the time where I want to. I'm trying to do this with my life. You're trying to do that with your life. We're on literally two opposite ends of the earth. I mean, we can't get along. Sometimes it's ticky-tack shit. Sometimes it's some things that should make me jealous, and I'm right to be jealous. Like you talking to Serizawa about things, but you can't talk to me? Your girlfriend, the one you love? Okay. But at the same time, I guess I can't say that because I can't talk to you about things. It makes sense, guys. The author's been really real about this. So Rui and Natsuo getting back together, I just don't see that happening, you know? I just don't. But moving on to Momo really quick here once again. Momo relationship is really realistic once again. Momo was depressed. She was lonely, so she's looking for some kind of attachment, something that made her feel wanted. What makes you feel wanted in a certain kind of way more than sexual interaction? That's as close as you can get physically. And, you know, depression is a real thing, and the things that happen with Momo are real. You feel like there's like a separation and anxiety almost, and to the point to where it boils over because the parents were never there, and it boils over and just explodes and turns into, I want people to want me, so I'm gonna do things that make me feel wanted. And sexual intercourse per se, let's just keep the video real as hell, it will make you feel wanted because that person that is taking part of it with you, obviously, they want you, whether it's in a mental manner or physical manner. Yes, it's at least physical. It's at least, you know, it's one of the two. You know, it's one of the two because they're doing that with you because they find you obviously attractive and whatnot. They find you as whether it be literally as a person or whether it be as an object, they want you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You want someone to feel as if they need you, but yeah. So I don't really know how much more I can say really about Momo, but like kind of look at Momo. Let's compare Momo and Rui because like, you can't really compare Hina. That doesn't make much sense for you to do that, not from a logical standpoint. But looking at Momo, looking at Hina, Rui came in when Natsuo was in quite a bit of despair. He's in quite a rock and hard place with Hina. everything that was going down, him just basically getting denied by Hina on the beach, or offered, but kind of basically told, if we do this, look, we're ruining everything right now, you know, the moment on the beach when they're talking about it, they go on that trip to the zoo or whatever the hell they did, early chapters, like chapter 25, somewhere around there, or no, not chapter 25, I think chapter like 14, 13, so, basically, you know, he went to Momo after that, and he almost did that with her, like what we just talked about, you know, he almost had that, that sexual intercourse with her, and I don't know, I'm saying sexual intercourse, I guess I should just say intercourse, but still, and he almost did it, and well, what do you say? He's like, maybe if I just do this, if I just go ahead and do it, you know, get with Momo, I can forget about other things. He's basically saying maybe I can calm down my emotions and discard them. What did he do with Rui? Did you think about that? He did the same thing that he did with Momo almost, except he went through with it. That's not saying that he didn't care about Rui. What that's saying is, it's saying that he didn't build his relationship from the ground up properly. The foundation was always rocky. And that's why I always kind of wondered if they're going to break up, kind of. In the back of my mind, for a while, they really had me on the ropes believing that's good writing, credit to the author. But in the beginning, I was like, is he really going to stay with Rui? Is that relationship really going to be something permanently? I was like, I don't know about this. Because it is built up on pure emotion. Look about it. Natsuo is in a better state of mind right now than he was when Hina left. Look at him. You know he's down right now. He can't even write. But you can't tell me he's not in a better state of mind. You know, whenever Hina left, he wouldn't even get up out of the bed. He wouldn't even get up out of bed. Do you remember the scene to where, you know, Rui called out? Hina said, why would you do that? You just discard everything just because of that? You wouldn't stay with him because you got caught? What was your resolve? What was your resolve? That's what she said to Hina. So, whenever we look at, you know, the resolve to stay with Rui or be with Rui, what was that ever based on? And I feel like it was kind of subconscious. You know, like he kind of knew he was with her from a mental standpoint, but then he began to love her. But still, the foundation, you can love someone, but the foundation was never established properly. It may just not mesh well later on. And that's what would happen with Momo. And I'm just correlating. I know it seems like I'm talking about Rui again, but that's the point of the video. I want to talk about Rui because Rui is she is literally the central axis almost to all this. You know, Hina is, I guess, and technically, but she's the one that's kind of started this, you know, I guess this roller coaster ride, right? But, you know, once again, Momo is Rui to me. I mean, Momo would have been Rui if Natsuo said no. But Rui is Momo if Natsuo would have said yes to her and did this off of a mental, emotional decision is what I'm kind of trying to say. You know what I mean? But like I said, and my main point that I kind of forgot and kind of lost track of and kind of derailed off to the whole spiel that's went on. Whenever Rui said that's your resolve and whatnot, basically kind of what I was trying to say is she's asking her, you know, her older sister, what was your resolve? You know, did you see his face back then? That's the big thing. Did you see his face? I wanted you to see his face and show you how upset he was. Okay. Think about that. This is the main point I was trying to get to originally before I went off to that kind of alternate kind of opinion of mine. Have you seen Natsuo's face now? Have you seen Natsuo now? Did you notice Natsuo is getting up on his own 2 feet? Did you notice that Natsuo is walking around, doing stuff in the club even though he can't write? Did you notice that? He's not hurt as much. He's not hurt as much as he was whenever Hina left. He's hurt. You know, he does kind of want to just, whenever he gets home, he kind of slays around. But back whenever Hina left, that man wouldn't even leave his house. That man was broken. That man was broken. That I remember that scene was so powerful just through the manga that it made me even tear up. But this is where Serizawa comes in. Natsuo is in a better place. He's in a bad place, but he's in a better place than when he was whenever Hina broke up. And maybe that's because, once again, he loved Rui, but the foundation wasn't set up correctly. It was kind of an emotional decision, at the time. She was there for them whenever someone else wasn't. Those are dangerous relationships. You could be happy ever after, but if you don't, if there is cracks in the foundation, how the foundation happened, if it's off emotional kind of things, then I think that's kind of where what happened to Rui and Natsuo. Can it be fixed? I don't know. But Serizawa is in a place to where, once again, I want to go back to Momo. I want to reiterate this. I want to talk about this because there's a lot of things that correlate back to Momo. They correspond, per se. They have similarities. They relate. So, looking at Momo and Serizawa, once again, what did I kind of want to reiterate this because I believe I said this earlier. What did Natsuo say again whenever he was about to sleep with Momo? Maybe if, she's not my sister. She's not anything to me related, relation-wise. So, if I just go for it, maybe I can forget about the other things. That could be Serizawa. Except Serizawa hasn't forced herself on him. And that's where things get interesting. Because Serizawa was going to kind of do that, right? What Momo did? Right? I mean, am I right? She was. But the author took a different route. And this is where things get interesting for me. She was setting up the Momo route for Serizawa. But then she diverged. She diverged from it. She had it turned into something silly, something comedic. He said, we're going to the Momo route. Just stop. Don't jump off the cliff. I know you're right there about to dive in, but don't jump off that cliff. Don't jump into the Momo bin. And Serizawa didn't. And now we have it to where, Natsuo was literally sticking out a hand saying, Serizawa, will you grab it? That's where things diverge, and it gets really interesting. Because the author said, no, we're going to go to the Momo route. Then she said, hold up, stop. No, we're not. And then she had it to where, let's say Serizawa's Momo this time, but who reached out this time? Natsuo reached out and said, hey, can I talk to you? Can you meet me at the cafe? And they were going to meet up until Rui, surprisingly showed up, right? I mean, she was at the stairs coming to talk to Natsuo because he's so late and behind because Rui showed up. And that's where things get interesting for me. He reached out to her. Not in a romantic way per se, but nonetheless, he reached out to her. She even kissed him. But yet he still went back and reached out to her. And she played it off, and I was like, okay, she ruined it. So it makes me wonder where this is going to go. Because technically, Rui reached out to Natsuo, right? Whenever he's feeling down. But now, Natsuo reached out to Serizawa earlier. They never ended up fully going on that cafe date or whatever. But what does that show? In Serizawa, it shows some of the qualities Natsuo had kind of with Hina. He wasn't afraid to talk to her. He wasn't necessarily afraid to bring it up, And not saying he necessarily did that to Huo, but, Hina, I said Huo. Huo, that's the Hina-Rui mix, excuse me. No, but he never necessarily did that dramatically with Hina, but they would discuss things, Here's my rebuttal. Here's a ring. He went out of his way to truly show how he felt with Hina. But he was the first one to reach out to Serizawa, and as a friend. Now that's how relationships are started. Think about it logically. I know Serizawa's my best girl. I already said it. So I know. I'm not being biased now. I'm thinking of this logically. Whenever a good relationship happens, do you just go for it, or do you usually probably start as friends, even if you're interested? Yeah, think about it. I'm going to give you like 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If her answer was not, we kind of just randomly start talking. We have an encounter in person, and we slowly but surely kind of interact with one another, and then become in a or come to a relationship. If that was not your answer, then you are not thinking logically, and you don't have room in this discussion anymore. Quite frankly, in my opinion, I'm hard on people, man. If I don't think you come out with me with a logical argument on a series that's really serious, especially, then I'm just gonna discard what you say. That's just how I am. Like, if I think it's stupid and your opinion's kind of I want logic. Especially in a series that's so real. She reached out to him. He reached out to her, excuse me. So it makes me wonder, what route is this going to go? Where is this going to lead us? Where is this going to take us? Because now, we didn't go the Momo route. We almost did, but it also said stop. Well, we already know this character can talk to Serizawa, something that he couldn't do with Rui. Like, holy crap. He couldn't do that with Rui. He couldn't talk to her. He loved her, but he couldn't talk to her. He almost went, Momo was a lust thing, but it didn't happen. Well, Serizawa almost turned into something like that. But wait, it didn't happen. They went a different route. He can talk to Serizawa, couldn't talk to Rui. Could have fallen into a pit to where his lust with Serizawa, but didn't happen. Didn't go the Rui route. Obviously, he's comfortable talking to Serizawa, something he was comfortable doing with Hina. So, let me read it one more time. He can talk to Serizawa openly about things. Couldn't talk to Rui. But who could he do that with? Hina, the one that he had the best relationship chemistry with. They never argued. He could have lusted for Momo, just like he could have with Serizawa. He could have ended things basically right there. But that didn't happen. Serizawa's interested. Right? She loves him for sure. Natsuo is just neutral. He doesn't dislike her, he doesn't like her, but he's comfortable with her. With Serizawa's character, we're really going into an unknown territory. We are going into a truly unknown, never been there before territory. Never, ever have we been in this territory with Serizawa. And for all the points I just kind of said, couldn't talk to Rui, couldn't talk to Serizawa, couldn't talk to Hina. Could have been lustful with Serizawa like Momo, but didn't. So, didn't go the Momo route and didn't go the Rui route, technically, right? And she is most similar to Hina. Serizawa is most similar to Hina in terms of relationship. Now they're not together, but in a basic relationship kind of way, Serizawa is more closely to Hina. It was not predicated on sex. It was not predicated on, hey, I'm lonely, come, No, it was based on, I am lonely. I don't know who to talk to about this, but I'm going to reach out to you and try to talk to you, not in a romantic manner, not on a sexual manner, but I'm going to try to talk to you on just a comfortable, manner. A person I feel I can reach out to and say, hey, will you listen to me? Can we talk about this? I need you right now. I need someone, and I want that someone to be you. That's basically what Natsuo said, man. Not saying he's saying that on a romantic standpoint, but in a foundation standpoint, it makes sense. So, moving on, though, to Serizawa just in general, and not just the Natsuo to Serizawa connection. Look at this. Serizawa is a character that's interested. Serizawa, during chapter 170 to where we are now, 218, 219, given that chapter comes out now or today, I don't know, it's coming out in Japan, so, from that standpoint, guys, think about it. Serizawa was on screen more times than she even needed it to be. Didn't anyone else notice the emphasis? I said it, even my Discord people. I said it to you multiple times. That why is she on screen? She doesn't have to be. Natsuo didn't have to go to that play that she was doing and get kissed. He didn't have to. Natsuo didn't, Serizawa didn't have to be the one that ran into Natsuo whenever he's feeling down about his book being advertised based off of him getting stabbed. He didn't have to run to Serizawa. You know? They didn't have to make that impactful moment of Serizawa says, I don't know what to think of your book, but all I can say whenever I read it, it's heartwarming. You know, they didn't have to have that emotional response to where Natsuo's like, you know what? That's what I want to hear. That's what I've been wanting to hear, Serizawa. That's the one thing that I've been wanting to hear. That's what I want to hear whenever someone reads one of my books. They didn't have to have that interaction, man. You know? They didn't have to. You know what else didn't have to happen? This last chapter where the one girl that Serizawa was trying to get tips from says, yeah, there must be something going on with their relationship. He's not wearing that watch anymore. He always wore it when they were together. And what does Serizawa do? Kind of monologues to herself. She wants to make a move. So we know the interaction is coming. We don't know if they're going to end up getting together, but we know the interaction is coming. The relationship has been established as friends. They're comfortable with each other. They know each other more right now. The relationship, the foundation is better than Rui's has ever been. It's not emotionally based. It's friendship based. He feels comfortable with her because of who she is and the conversations they've had. He feels comfortable talking to her because of the relationship that they have with one another. And that's something we haven't been. It's an area we've never been before. The relationship is not based on sexual attention. It's an escape to get away from the sister-in-law fiasco, scandal, whatever you want to call it, that's going down. It's the most ordinary route. It's the most unforced relationship, potentially, you could say. The foreshadowing's there. She's been on screen, on panels when she didn't have to be. They even had an arc dedicated about her and her friend. And guess what? What did the arc do? Because her friend, she's not a major part of the story at all. But you know who was in that arc more than the person it was based on? Do you know who it was? It was Serizawa. She was in that arc more than her friend was. It's weird, man. It's just so weird. I wonder why that could be. I wonder why there's so much foreshadowing. It's weird, yes, I'm being sarcastic. Because something's going to happen. Whether it's unrequited love or not, I don't know. I'm not here to say that because I don't know. I'm not in the author's head. But it's just so logical. From that standpoint, it's interesting. And I'm not here to say, let's root for this girl or that girl. I'm just here to talk about this from a logical standpoint, man. It's so damn different. It's a path that we have never been. Never been. You can talk to Serizawa. Couldn't comfortably talk to Rui about everything, right? It's crazy, You know what's crazier than all this? Hina was independent per se, to an extent. I'm going to take that back. Obviously, we know Hina really, really resides on Natsuo. Like if they were together, if Natsuo's upset, oh my God, Hina's there. Hina loves Natsuo. Like, we are well aware. And it may be to a point of a little too much like an obsession. And you should love somebody so much to where you are obsessed with them. I firmly do believe that. You should be like obsessed with them. You love them so much, right? You worry about them all the time. Yes, sure. Even if it's annoying, But that can be very dangerous too. And they even said, the guy that's the guy that works at the bar, the gay one that works at the bar. You know who I'm referring to. I can't remember his name, damn it, but I just wanted to help describe him. One of the best characters in the show, man. Such good. He says, don't allow your obsession. Obsession can be dangerous. Love somebody so much to where you are obsessed with them, but don't cross that line is basically what he says. And he says that to Rui. He says that can be dangerous, and that can be unhealthy. And then Rui kind of thinks about it, evaluates the situation, and breaks up with him, It's right there. And that's kind of where Hina kind of is. But what we haven't seen in this show is a character have an issue with Natsuo and get out of it independently. Think about that. Did Ruby ever solve something on her own? You know? Was she ever truly able to get over a hump that involved Natsuo? No. It lingered, and that's what led to their breakup, man. The jealousy, the trust, you know, the belief, all that stuff. Hina was horrible when she moved. Whenever she tried to fake like she didn't care about Natsuo, think about it. Think about it. She, you know, Natsuo left her apartment at her house, and she just started bawling her eyes out. She was a miserable mess. She didn't get through it without Natsuo. She moved back to be closer to him, even though she was with her sister. Did you guys catch that when you were reading the manga? Did you catch that? She came back. And then when she came back, she wrote him a letter saying, "Wait for me." Think about that. She's never mentally been able to get over it. Maybe as of recently, but I feel like she's kind of lying to herself. She says that she wanted to, I'll make Natsuo happy and then worry about myself. You're not even dating him anymore. He's your brother. Of course, you want to help him, make him happy any way you can by talking to him. But don't you think he's kind of a little obsessed in a way? Think about it logically. Before you leave that comment, before you hit me up in Discord, think about that logically. That's not good. That really isn't kind of good. Like, that's lying to yourself. I've done that. I did this in my last relationship. I'm an idiot. I'm telling to you about this one from personal experience. She didn't want separation after she saw him again. She wanted to be near him, close to him. That's why she wrote that letter. That's why she said, "I'm going to make him happy, then worry about myself." She is over the top about him. You know what I mean? And that's not, if she's with him, everything can be good, possibly. But if one thing goes wrong, I wonder if she can get over it independently, because she still hasn't been able to kind of fully get over him. I mean, she came in drunk and kissed him. She came in drunk when her sister was in the house. Given she didn't know it, she knew that Rui and him were a thing. Like she knew it. Go back to the beach island. She even said that she called Rui out and said she loved him. And then she came in drunk after she got the job at the hotel after her party or whatever, and she kissed him. She's been lying to herself. She hasn't independently necessarily gotten over him, but gotten to a place to where she is fully comfortable. If Natsuo made a move, she wouldn't say no. That's the crazy part. Serizawa. I just wanted to spiel about Hina just for this. If you have not made it to this far in the video, then I wouldn't be surprised. Think about this. This is a podcast. You can watch in segments, by the way. It's not that hard. If it's a topic that you truly care about, that is. But, Serizawa had a problem. She found out about the two sisters, and guess what? She evaluated it. She was turned off by it. She didn't like it. It made her kind of upset with them. Disliked them a little bit. Like, this guy's crazy. He's a creep. He's so immoral. Like, he has no sense of respect. Like, I get your situation can be crazy effed up, but like, how can you go to someone's sister? Like, what's wrong with you? That's like the worst thing you could ever do. You know? That's worse than cheating on me with my best friend. Serizawa evaluated that and got over it by herself. It showed that Serizawa can be knocked down, but she can also get back up. And that's what Natsuo needs. I'm interested to see where this relationship goes. If this relationship happens, not only I should be happy because it's the girl I want to win because I love her personality. I love her in general. I love how she's confused. I love how real she is, too. Of course, like other characters in the series. That's why the series is so great, the realism. But I want to see where it goes. I want to see if Natsuo can become someone again. You know, I want to see if he can become a person that has a great foundation with her. Because so far, she has shown to build a proper relationship with Natsuo. She has shown that she can be independent. Think about that, man. She's not Natsuo dependent. She's in love with them. But she's also able to get over things by herself. She had an issue with him. She found out about his love life. She found out about how crazy and how unethical, how wrong it is. You know, that's why it's called Domestic Girlfriend, the title of the show. And she moved past that. She evaluated the situation. She confronted Natsuo after they didn't talk for a couple weeks or whatever. And she said, hey, I thought about it. I'm here for you. You know, I can't help but love you. I love you for you. She evaluated it. She didn't harbor any ill will, any bad feelings. She didn't. She evaluated the situation, you know, and she got over it. This is a female character we haven't seen. This is literally the most put together female character in the whole show. Think about it. And I don't mean from a writing standpoint or anything like that. I'm talking about like in terms of independence. She's the most, you know, she's the most put together character. She obviously isn't overly obsessed, you know. She is able to take a step back and evaluate herself in things like that, right? She's not here to argue with him. Even when she did kind of have that little spat with him about his sisters, she evaluated herself and got over it. And she's not even obligated to talk to him ever again. She's not his girlfriend. She did it and said, hey, I like you. I value our relationship as friends and as people, and I want to be with you. You know, I want to be in your life. I want to be in drama club with you. I want you to write my scripts. I want to act out your stories. That's cool. Just what I'm trying to say is, look at it from a logical standpoint. Sarah Salas is my favorite girl. I say she's best girl. I do think she's best for Natsuo, at least for now. Right? I think Hina could be. Rui and him, that's hard. Less than 5% chance. Especially if there's supposed to only be about 50 chapters left, 60 chapters left, 70 around there. You know, a lot can happen in that. But so yeah, that's what I gotta say. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I mean, I'm at 1,256 bars. I've never been this far. This podcast is probably an hour long. Thank goodness it's only audio with just the screen. Thank goodness it's a podcast, so we'll import, export extremely fast. This hour-long podcast or whatever the heck it is, I don't even know, will literally export like an 8-minute video probably. That's crazy since there's so much audio, but it's just one visual. So visuals definitely make up most of this. So other than that, though, guys, hope you guys did enjoy the podcast. You guys have been hexed. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, X25. I will see you guys next time. Peace. Thanks for watching, guys. Just remember, think about it logically. Take out your bias. Think about logically. Who is best for him? And at the same time, think about the flaws with the people that he's been with. Pretty crazy, man. So yeah, see you guys next time. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, X25. Be sure to check out my Patreon if you want to support what I do here. Be sure to join the Discord, all in the description below. Be sure to check out my editor that edits some of my videos. Last video edited what would have been White-Haired Girl, Yellow Eyes. It would have been called, I think it was the perfect drama, the perfect romance, the perfect comedy. Go check that video out. That was my last project that my editor did. He does AMVs too. He's really good. So, yeah, you guys have been hexed. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Thanks for watching, guys.